Well, for the first time in a long time, 2023 to be exact, the Twins had made their first postseason appearance. Unfortunately, it came at a loss against the Toronto Blue Jays in our last episode. Welcome back, everyone, to the Twins franchise here. Players up here for negotiations, exclusive negotiations. I'm not thinking about bringing anybody back here except for Victor Caratini. I thought about possibly Tyler O'Neill, but 1 year at $15 million just didn't really set too well with me. So we will bring back Caratini 1 year at $4 million. Seems like a very cheap move just to keep some stability there at the catching position. Just a quick look at our salary arbitration. We do have some big names up there up for arbitration, so we got to consider those guys. And a quick look at the top 150 players for free agency. Now, up the middle, Brooks Lee at short, Luke Keeschel at second. I love Luke Keeschel as a player. I do like Brooks Lee as well. I think they do have some potential here. It could be mainstays for our team, but we got to fix up the middle. Defensively, Keeschel's a little slow. I don't know what that is, some reaction time, and then Brooks Lee obviously is not athletic enough in this game to man the shortstop position. Eduardo Tait, I think that he is probably the up-and-coming catcher, but we still need another year of Caratini just to kind of manage Tait's potential and his boosts to his overall rating. Got to get better defensively at the catching spot. Now, a quick scan here across our free agent board. We've got Bryson Stott, Albies, Luis Garcia, some second baseman. Again, I'm looking to try to upgrade at second base. A little more athleticism, a little more speed. You got to have it all. You got to have some good contact numbers. And looking at Ozzie Albies, switch hitting, second baseman. Obviously, offensively, he's very good. Defensively, he's a little worse than he is offensively. He's more of an offensive second baseman. And then you look at Keeschel. By comparison, the contact against righties is obviously very good. Lefties, he's not. Vision and clutch are fine. The power, again, I'm wishing that that's going to come along a little bit, but so far in this series, 254 in 2026, in the 220s, 230s this past season, and even getting into 2031, Keeschel only gets up to a 79 overall. So there is sort of a cap on Luke Keeschel. I think it's personally criminal. I think he should probably be more of a B potential, but that's neither here nor there. We got to do what we got to do within this series, based on the players that we have, right? The ratings that we have. Now, looking across the board here at first baseman, just kind of scrounging around the market a little bit just in case maybe we want to stick Brooks Lee still at shortstop. You got to consider all of the options. Maybe we move this first baseman to a DH role if it's not Brooks Lee. I kind of like Gavin Sheets, though. Left-handed bat. We need another one of those. And he can play a little outfield too. So I'm going to put him up on the big board. And then we're also going to go after Griffin Jax. I think we do need to upgrade the back end of the bullpen. Again, we had Brooks Raley last season. We had Jojo Romero coming in last year. Romero is going to stick around here, but I want to get Griffin Jax up on our board and bring him back in the Minnesota Twins organization. Walker Jenkins does have a renewable contract, but I'm going to sign him to a long-term deal. I think that that's happening a lot in the real world of baseball here. They're kind of avoiding these arbitration years, which makes sense. The longer that you keep kicking the can down the road, the guy's going to get better, you would think, and he's going to start asking for more money. So why not lock the guy up long-term, get past those arbitration years? It makes sense. Personally, you know, with the game, how it works, like it would make sense money-wise to offer the contract to be renewed. You know, you don't want to waste those years, but I also want to consider a realistic approach on how they would handle those contracts. You're also seeing me kind of move through some of those arbitration offers with all of our guys here, like Brooks Lee, Royce Lewis, Taj, and even Simeon Woods Richardson, who I did not offer a contract to. So that is something just to note as we move forward. Now, Luke Keeschel, we're going to offer him arbitration as well. Just go about 2.2. I do like to go into the player card, into the contract offer, and then look in that bottom right-hand corner. Just as a little bit of a guide. You know, if you do make him an offer, this is what they're expecting as far as a contract goes. But then for arbitration, do you want to go a little underneath that? Do you want to meet that? Do you want to go a little over? Like, where do you think you can get away with paying some of these guys? But We are going to offer arbitration to pretty much everybody on this list except for Simeon Woods Richardson, which I'm going to get into here in just a moment. I think he's pitched very well for us. I just don't think that, projecting forward, we do have a lot of young pitchers that we just drafted in the last 2 draft classes. I think we can kind of get away with moving on from SWR and improve our up the middle defense, offense, and even just athleticism. So I'm going after Nasim Nunez from the Washington Nationals, and also Yohandy Morales, a big-time first baseman for them. Does have a lot of power. Both guys do need to get a new contract, so we got to work on that. We just got to note that before we move forward. But you look at Brooks Lee's defense, you look at what he can do offensively. I think that is a big-time upgrade for us with Nunez at short. And then SWR, like I said, with his stats, just looking at what we got going there, he does produce for us. He's been fine, but that's really all that he's been, is just fine. He is a nice number 4, a good number 5. Unfortunately, the Nats are going to reject this trade offer, so we're going to have to try to sweeten the deal with just a little something extra. And they are seeking a young MLB catcher. Might not necessarily be Garrett Lane to start for them this year, but we do offer up Garrett Lane. We drafted him a couple seasons ago in the season 1 draft class. I just don't see him progressing super far. He does have some good vision, some decent contact, but yeah, 57 overall, C potential. Like, I'm not too worried about losing one of our draft picks there. So we do get Yohandy Morales. We do get Nasim Nunez. He will be taking the spot of Brooks Lee at shortstop. Now, I know that might make some Twins fans a little angry because they love Brooks Lee, and I'm not a Brooks Lee hater per se, but in this game, he doesn't have the juice to get to balls in the hole. He's kind of like a Johnny Peralta. Dare I say he's kind of like a Johnny Peralta. He's kind of slow. We can't have that at shortstop. We got to be better defensively up the middle. And a lot of times in gameplay, I have noticed we get beat by balls up the middle. We got to kind of shore that up. So now with Morales kind of backing up Castro, we got a young first base mix. And then, of course, with Nunez, now we have a top of the order guy, a platoon guy at that stage at the top of the order. I think against lefties or righties, could be either or. But he's probably mostly a bottom of the order guy. So like a secondary leadoff man, if you will, to kind of get us back up to the top of the order. Now, just kind of scrolling through at the 40-man roster, other moves that we got to consider here. We do make some changes there. We have 37 men on our 40-man roster at this point. That's a good place to be, considering that we still have moves to make through free agency. The worst thing you could possibly do is have 40-man roster, sign a bunch of people, and then have to remove those players from the 40-man, having them have to pass through waivers. So you do have to make room for these guys that you're going to sign through free agency. Now, for Nunez, yes, he's up for arbitration, but again, he does have good potential. And again, I don't want to get into a situation where based on the overall and the production, his money will change. So I do want to offer him a contract rather than go through arbitration, and that's the way we're going to operate Nunez. So he will sign, and it's more like a trade and sign, if you will, than sign and trade. But Victor Caratini, he does have that 57% motivation, so we can unlock a contract offered to him, so we're going to do that. And he does sign, so we're good there. Brenton Doyle going to get traded from the Rockies for a big trade. George Lombard Jr. Wow. Okay, that's a little overpay, but the Rockies, I think, made out pretty good with that move. Justin Steele going to go to the Cleveland Guardians as well. Now, just a quick look here at the arbitration. Again, Nunez does sign, so don't you worry, guys, that we do offer him arbitration as well, just to make sure that he does not go into free agency. We can still negotiate his actual contract, but again, he does sign. Caratini will sign the 1-year $409, which is good for us. William Contreras, just news around the league, getting back to the Brew Crew. Griffin Jax is available to offer a contract too, so we're going to try to bump him up into the 60s at least. So we're going to offer him this contract here at 60% motivation. We're still waiting on Gavin Sheets. Again, at this point, I don't necessarily need Gavin Sheets, but I think he's just a nice piece to have, and if we can get him. Just be a nice bench guy, maybe a guy that can fill in the outfield a little bit here and there, first base, left field, right field, DH from now and then. I think that's just a decent move. He's just the 26th man on the 26-man roster, if that makes sense. We'll also put Mackenzie Gore up here because why not? We need another starter at this point by getting rid of SWR. And I think if we can upgrade there, we have a true ace at this point. We'll just see what his motivation to sign truly is. Now, we do have a contract decision, and we've only offered one contract, so you guys can do the math here. It is Griffin Jax, and unfortunately, Griffin Jax says not quite yet. So we will try again. He does have 60% motivation. I think at this point, we're probably going to be able to get him with another offer. Now, for Mackenzie Gore at 8%, that's not going to happen. So we're going to have to remove him and see who else we might be able to target, because that's just not going to work. There's not enough weeks left in order to get him above 50%. We got 11 weeks left. Not going to happen. So Griffin Jax will sign officially. So do bring Griffin Jax back into a Minnesota Twins uniform. Everybody says this. I do love the lake life. Griffin Jax, the number 6 free agent, signing with the Twinkies. And as we move forward, again, with free agency, no pending offers, and because of budgetary constraints, Mackenzie Gore is gone. Not because of the 8%, because we don't have any money to go pay for him. He wants 30.4, and we don't have that. So he is officially removed. And just scrolling on through here, just looking at other pitchers that we might consider. Maybe Jeffrey Springs, kind of looking for a left-hander just to round out this rotation. Springs might be a decent guy, but those numbers, he is hitting a little bit of regression at this point. I want to see some green on that bar. There you go. So Robbie Ray, K/9 against the righties. That's pretty decent, but he doesn't have a lot of control or clutch, and the other in the gray, I don't really like that. I don't like that, but he is accomplished. So he's an accomplished ace in the past. I might consider Robbie Ray, 1 year at 15.4, and then Springs also asking for the same amount. I think we're just going to plop Jeffrey Springs right on up there. Now, relievers. Yes, we did just get Griffin Jax to help out Edgardo Henriquez in the back end. And again, I'm just kind of scrolling through to see if there's anybody that we're interested in. And then I find Eric Lauer. B potential. He's progressing. He's only 32 years old. A lefty, which is what we're looking for. So I'll plop him right up there. He's about $7 million less. Actually, eight, right on the nose. $8 million less expensive than Jeffrey Springs. And I'm like, Eric Lauer can do both. He can relieve, he can be a flex guy, he can start, he can be an opener, even though he doesn't like to do that. I think that's a good option for us. So we'll just put both of those guys up there and see kind of what happens. Now the lottery, the Rockies kind of got a little screwed there. They lost 101 games. They dropped down 6 spots. That really hurt them. And then with the Rule 5 draft, just wanted to hop in here and see if any of our guys that we did not protect, if they're going to get taken, and it doesn't look like they are. And kind of scrolling through here, what could we kind of get away with? What might we luck into? And I'm not really seeing much, to be honest. I do like the 25-year-old B potential, but is this a guy that's going to help us out this year? Rule 5 players have to be kept on your big league roster, so it doesn't look like that's going to work out for us. No luck with the Rule 5. Now, this is pretty huge. 71% for Springs, 75% for Eric Lauer. Again, I kind of prefer Eric Lauer at this point. We're just going to offer him the contract at base, which is what he's asking for here. And then Gavin Sheets, we're finally able to make a contract offer to Sheets. We'll get him up to like 62% and see how this all works out for us here. So Eric Lauer's decision is not quite what he's looking for. Gavin Sheets, what about you? Yes, he loves the lake life too. Well, come on over. Come on board here. Drew Rasmussen going to the New York Mets. And then now Eric Lauer, 2% higher than Jeffrey Springs. We have not offered Jeffrey Springs a contract. Now, this is kind of funny. So he's asking for 7.4. He didn't want that, but now he's more motivated to sign, I guess. So we're going to move him down to 80% motivate. We're actually going to lowball him now. And he will end up signing that contract. So pretty funny. We actually paid him about $15,000 less. So I'll take that. That's fine by me. Now, because we're above the 40-man, we did have to remove someone there. That is Andrew Morris. He's going to go down to, or he's going to stay on the AAA team, but he's going to be removed off of the 40-man. I don't think anybody's going to claim him, given the potential rating, but, you know, could be wrong. Now, with $14.9 million left to spend in free agency, I think we're done. I think we've done a decent job here. Pitching staff still looks pretty good. You got Ryan, Lopez, Ober, Bradley, and Zebby Matthews. That could be flexed out to Eric Lauer at times as well. So that 5 slot is going to be used as more of a flex position. We're going to bring guys in and bring guys out. Big trade here with the Diamondbacks and the Rangers. We got Nick Lodolo going to the Braves, and then a big trade here with the Yankees and the Padres. Jeremiah Estrada, now a Yankee, for Michael Zamora, a right fielder, 66B. So he was actually taken in one of our draft classes here, round 3 of 2026. White Sox and Cubs making a trade. When's the last time that's happened? That's a little crazy. So the 2 Chicago teams teaming up there. Arbitration, how many did we win? How many battles did we win here? Side with us for Brooks Lee. They side with us for James Outman. And they're going to go with Bradley with 15 mil, so we definitely lowballed him there. That sucks. Yeah, and then they're going to go with Twins for us on Keishel arbitration, and then Lewis is going to make 15 mil. So, yeah, we were a little off on some of our arbitration offers here. Now, Riley Green and the Cubs, that's an interesting move right there for the Tigers. Looks like they're selling on their core. It looks like Scott Harris is still being a buffoon. Now, for our lineup, and guys, we're headed into spring training action here. We will be player locking Kaelen Culpepper. Pretty interesting development here within our organization. Now that Brooks Lee is lost the shortstop job, right? We acquired Nassim Nunez to take that over. Keishel still battling for second base. I kind of like the idea of maybe Culpepper moves to second. Maybe he stays at short. I don't know. But we've now got Nunez and Culpepper that could be a mix up the middle. We'll just see how he does offensively. That's going to be the biggest thing for Culpepper. Very good defender as well. I know in the minor leagues he's decent offensively here. But getting up base hit, going the other way off of Garrett Crochet, I do like that. And then watch this defensive play. In the hole, off-balance throw. Were we going to get him in time? Yes, sir. We get Rhys Hoskins with ease. That's a beautiful play from Kaelen Culpepper. 0-1 pitch here against Tanner Huck. Perfect. Deep drive to left center. Nobody's moving. Those outfielders standing pat. Left fielder's not even turning his head. Culpepper with a loud home run. 431 on the distance. And it was a hanging slider. That is something that you love to see from your top prospect. Guy leaves a hanger right there. You want to know what those guys are going to be able to do with it. Are they going to make those mistakes pay? And that's what Culpepper did. I don't know what the Red Sox are doing. Great, guys. You won a spring training game. Cool. Let's get a photo op at the end of the game. What? Buxton had a homer. Keishel had a home run. Like to see that. Thinking that might be reinvigorating Keishel. He knows that the competition is here. How about this play again by Kaelen Culpepper? Bottom of the third. Going to get Hesong Kim to ground out to him again. Another beautiful play by Kaelen Culpepper. Let's go top of the fourth. 0-0 pitch here against Lara. That's a deep drive to center field. Michael Harris, you know, he's always tough to beat in center field, but he makes a beautiful play, robbing Culpepper again of extra base hits deep in center field. How about this play again? Kaelen Culpepper. Whew, get the leather on, man. Eesh. Nice play there by Culpepper. And unfortunately, that is all of the highlights that we have for him. 3-1 game, though, for the Twins. We move to 1-2. And we're going to move now to Kendall George's player lock. He's also trying to fight for a opening day job. Maybe be a defensive sub, a speedster on the base pass. It's about all that this guy can do. Take a look at this. It's a routine ground ball, and because of the speed, it causes an error. but they're going to actually give him a base hit, which is interesting. They don't ever want to charge the home team with an error. So Kendall George gets out with a base hit. Look at the speed, man. Speed kills. He's our own version of Billy Hamilton, which is why I love him so much. 3.9 to home plate. 2-2 pitch here from Oviedo. You got Nunez taking the pitch. Easy stolen base, especially to get that off of Dylan Dingler. Not easy to do. Just watch how fast that Kendall George is. 20 miles an hour with a 1.97 pop time. I mean, it's awesome. He is going to get a little greedy here. 3-0 pitch. It was low and away, and somehow Dingler gets him out. It was pretty close, but Kendall George is thrown out nonetheless. Colt Keith with the snappy little tag right there. 1-2 pitch here. Kendall George, base hit. We got him rounding third, headed for home. Here comes the throw home. Kendall George, more defensive highlights. Yes, sir. Goodbye. Absolutely hosed by Kendall George. And this is what I'm talking about. If we need to make a defensive substitution, he's definitely not taking Byron Buxton's place. But we do have left field, right field. We got Larnick in left, right field with Jenkins. I think Kendall George might be a good defensive replacement. He can run, he's got speed, of course, and he's got an arm as well. Nice double here going the other way in the top of the 6th. Kendall George, 2-2 pitch here, going to take off, and that's an easy stolen bag. Another one, right? So he's trying to get to third base. Why not? Keep working on stuff. It's spring training. Just let it fly. Here's a ground ball up the middle and a double play. Unfortunately, Kendall George's efforts on the base paths not going to pay off here to get another run. Here's a little chopper to Colt Keith, and the throw down going to get George for the final at bat for him, and at least he did get a couple hits. So yeah, I like Kendall George. I'd love to see what he's going to do in simulation instead of just with me at the helm, but 2 knocks, some great plays defensively, robbing a hit in the gap, throwing a runner out at home on a one-hopper. I think he's got some ability, right? I think he's progressing nicely down in the minor leagues. It will be a battle. It's going to be a battle to make a decision here. 3 players trying to fight for 2 spots, the 25th man and 26th man. Gavin Sheets, Culpepper, and Kendall George. So it's going to be interesting. But, hey, let's get into this one here. We got a top 10th situation. Keyshoal's underneath this one. Active, maybe not. The wind is blowing, guys. But extra innings, we'll face Yaniel Curet. I did look up how to pronounce his last name. It is Curet. So, yeah, we're good. Gavin Sheets, base hit. Oh, no. Austin Martin, keep going. Keep going. He thought it might have been a foul ball. Either way, he does score. Twins will walk it off, and I think that'll help Gavin Sheets' cause here. Maybe the clutch rating for Gavin Sheets will help him make that 25th, 26th man for our roster, our opening day roster. So Curet does not shut it down. Twins will walk it off. Austin Martin scores the winning run, and Brooksley did get a home run here. He's got 2, 4 RBIs. So he had a grand slam. Brooksley had a grand slam. So, again, that kind of muddies the water a little bit. If Brooksley is going to be the DH, as a switch-hitting DH, it's pretty valuable. Where does that put Gavin Sheets in the whole mix there to be a DH type of guy, right? Well, Emmanuel Rodriguez, another guy that I was hoping for to perform well. He only went 245. Moises Ballesteros there at 238, I believe that was. 250 for Keyshaal. Caratini played well. And then Kendall George, 3 home runs for Kendall George, and he hit well, too, with his batting average. And then you got Nunez with 296. Larnick 268 with no pop. Gavin Sheets went 296. And then Kaelen Culpepper with 2 solo home runs and also hit 295. We got a lot of decisions to make. And these are not going to be easy decisions at all. You got Castro here with no homers, so that's a little concerning, but did have an okay batting average, enough to say that, yes, you're going to make the team. Now for our pitching, which some guys like Prelip, Rojas, Marco Raya, I'm not too impressed with Raya right now, or Prelip, but those numbers are not very good. with the ERA and the WHIP, but what can you do? It is spring training. They're going to have to go down at the minor leagues and work on some of that stuff. Kendall George, again, with the home runs, the ribbies. He had 12 RBIs, guys. He was one of our leaders. He was in the top 5 of RBI leaders. I think you have to keep him on the team at that point. A lot of stolen bases for him, too, in spring training action. 5. Buxton's obviously going to make the team. No issues there. Zebby Matthews will get called down. We're going to have to move him off of the 26-man roster. Tanner Schobel, that's a pretty easy call there. Wagaman, that'll be an easy call as well. He'll go down to AAA. I believe that it is probably his last option, so that's also something that we got to consider. He's probably going to be a trade bait at some point, because I don't think he's major league ready at this point. But Kaelen Culpepper, we got some decisions to make with him. Do we want to keep him on the team? Do we want to continue to have him progress down in the minor leagues? I think it might be time for him. Luke Keeschel, 76 overall. He can play second, he can play third. There were rumblings of him being able to play outfield in spring training this year in real life. And honestly, with the muddied waters there up the middle, with Nunez and Culpepper and everything we got going on there, I think Keeschel's going to have to move to third base and possibly be a outfielder, corner outfielder, left fielder, right fielder. I think that's the best move for him at this point. And believe me, I'm a big Luke Keeschel guy. Like, I have him in my fantasy baseball dynasty league. I love Luke Keeschel. I think he is going to find a way to break through here at the major league level. But with the numbers and the attributes that I'm seeing and the results that he's giving me in this series, I think it's probably best that he shift out there to left field long term. Because what happens if Royce Lewis never kind of takes it to the next level, right? What happens if he doesn't do that? Maybe Keeschel's that option there. Maybe he's also an option in the left because Trevor Larnach, maybe he's not the long-term answer. Like, he's 31 years old at this point, and we're paying him quite a bit of money. Maybe he's a trade target for some teams. So we got to keep the options open, but I just don't see him playing at second. I don't see him playing much at short. Keeschel's a second baseman. I don't see him playing much at second base if we decide to get Culpepper going or Nasim Nunez in either one of those spots. So that's the decision that we're going to make with that. Now, a lot of these guys that we're making calls on, kind of tough with some, not so tough with others, like Rosario. Like, that's an easy call. But like Outman, I don't see you in the outfield mix this summer. Kendall George, Rodriguez, we're pretty much loaded, right? In center field. Buxton, Jenkins, Rodriguez, George. Rodriguez does have another option, and I think we're going to have to call him down. Yes, he's a little bit better than Kendall George is offensively, but that speed, the defense, the drag bunting ability, like, I think George just offers more to help than does Rodriguez. I also am very high on Emmanuel Rodriguez. I think he's going to find himself into the big league club eventually, maybe in September call-ups in 2026, real life maybe in 2027. But either way, Brooks Lee has officially lost the shortstop job. He is our DH. And then you've got Keeschel. Culpepper will make the big league club. So congratulations to Pixel Kaelen Culpepper. He did it. He made it. And then so did Kendall George. So the two guys that we player locked are going to be with us to start season 3 of our Twins franchise. Now, before I get into any opening day and analysis for this upcoming season, projections, we do want to lock up Byron Buxton for the next 5 seasons. He does not want to take that offer, so we're going to pump that up just a little bit extra, about 28.2, and he does accept that. Now, everybody else here on the list, I'm not going to offer a contract extension to. It's just not at this time. Going to have to wait and see how that they perform in 2028. But here we are, guys. Officially, Season 3 getting underway here. I'll see you guys next week for more Minnesota Twins action as we take on the LA Angels. Joe Ryan against Grayson Rodriguez. I think we should probably be able to handle the Angels here. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section what you thought about the moves and the trades and the contract decisions that we've made. Are you cool with Luke Keeschel moving on from second base over to the third and the corner outfield spots. You know, it's a big thing. There's a lot of people in Twins land that love Luke Keeschel, myself included. But as far as our franchise goes here, I think that's probably going to be the best move for the team and the best move for him long term. I think our team is better, but I'm anxious to hear what you guys think in the comment section. Leave a like if you like this thing. I'll see you guys in the next one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and peace.